be ready for all this, people, because your little precious little Michigan-Ohio State game, even more meaningless. Yes. Meaningless, KG. And I told you this day was coming. And you laughed, remember?
Yeah,
you laughed in my face.
It wasn't 24 teams at the time either. So,
but I told you this was coming, KG. And Mike G, your little precious toe meets leather at noon. The game with Gus Johnson going, there's going to be a lot of furniture moving.
It's not just us. This is the last good rivalry in college football. They beat the fuck out of it every year.
It's dead now. It's dead now. It's meaningless. Flat out meaningless. And it was already meaningless before. Sorry, Sean.
No,
it is.
I think conference championships are meaningless at this point.
Oh, they are.
They are.
100%.
They are.
So, and you guys are going to get all in your feelings right now about it, but you know in the end I'm right. And KG's starting to accept it. I can see it on his face.
You guys, okay, define meaningless, though. It is always going to mean something.
They're both going. They're both going, Sean.
That's all I be trying to tell
When
them.
Michigan State beats Michigan, my pants will come off, okay? That's always going to mean something. And the same thing for the game, okay? But if you're talking about at the end, Ohio State did it 2 years ago.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
That's it.
Yeah.
It didn't. And I'm sorry. KG, and I know you're not part of this group. It is such weak sauce.
That's the way it is.
I don't know if that's all on the fans, though. We've kind of been conditioned to feel this way with the way rule changes and shit work. I'm just saying.
And you know what the problem is? I think sometimes we have to remember where we're sitting, too. Okay? Yeah. We're a city that has not had a whole hell of a lot of playoff success in a long time, okay? And I really wonder what would be different around here if the Pistons were playing the Knicks right now. If the Red Wings were playing the Carolina Hurricanes tonight, down in Carolina, game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, okay? And I know Neal makes jokes about car flag season all the time and things like that. You know what? That's when it matters. Yeah. That's what it's much like, and I'm going to get Mike G. I'm going to get your back here. It's like what Mike G said. Well, it always matters to guys like him. He's a diehard. It's always going to matter to you, KG. Yeah. You're a diehard. But you know what? It's those.
But you're irrelevant. Not you, Mike G.
I get
you're irrelevant in the priority, the way the decisions are made. You are irrelevant.
And y'all aging out the game. The purists are aging out the game now.
100%.
The new purists don't care about these things.
As you keep going, though, that's when it all swells, and you get people like my wife. Name 5 Lion players. Kalima St. James. She's all about the Lions, right?
Yeah. Oh, great guy.
Chris, I know you live and die. You live and die for the Lions. Okay, name 5 Lions. She spits out Kalima St. James. I start laughing, and she goes, well, there's Sonic and Hedgehog, too. And I'm like,
Sonic
but that's
great guys.
What happens.
Stand-up guys.
That's what happens when you have that groundswell of a team doing well. Everybody gets caught up in it, and everything goes like this. For the diehards, for the Mike G's, for some of the other guys that talked out there, it doesn't matter if you're, God forbid, you're 6-5, right? And you're playing Ohio State. It's still Ohio State, right? It's still Ohio State. I respect that. I get that.
Until 2 weeks from now when the playoffs start.
Yep. That's the reality of it.
That's what it
is. This is the land we live in now.
Somebody in the chat here, players making money, just get a union and a labor deal done already. It will never happen. It will never happen. Not under the NCAA's watch, dude. It won't.
No.
Because it can't.
Because they'll lose money at that point.
The second you do that, it's all over.
Right.
All of it is officially over the second you do it. So it's not going to happen, man. And that's why there's no caps.
Yeah.
Right?
Or regulation.
Because there can't be.
They opened Pandora's box, but now they don't want to regulate.
Right. Because then the director of the NCAA, they don't get everything that they've gotten in the past.
Right.
I've always told you guys about this. Dan Wetzel wrote one of the greatest sports books of all time. It's called Death to the BCS. It's about 25 years old now.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that book, actually. Yeah, I have that.
I would tell you guys, for real, to go read it. And the takeaway of it is, if you read that book, you will understand that this is all of that repeating itself. The whole thing with the bowls, why the bowl games will never go anywhere in the end. He talked about it in Death to the BCS. The director, and this was at that time, the director of the Sugar Bowl made over $660,000, about $700,000 a year to run the Sugar Bowl that had been in New Orleans for 20 plus years, using the same hotels, using the same stadium, doing everything the same all the time. Sounds like a pretty sweet gig, right?
But it's always the one guy that comes along like, how can I, how can I minimize this?
Well, it's not that. It's that I run the NCAA.
Yeah.
I have KG running the Sugar Bowl. He's my guy, right? It's never going to change.
No.
That is never going to change.
The biggest problem, and this is why I brought up Bill Hancock earlier, and for people that don't know, he was literally the chairman of the BCS, okay? And I made the comparison. He was my mortal enemy. For somebody that thought the BCS was disgusting, he was Satan, okay? When they finally decided, well, we're gonna go to the revised version in 2014, and we're gonna go to a 14 playoff, who headed it? Bill Hancock. Think about that. The number one reason, the number one villain why that didn't happen was now the head of it. Why? Because all these people were sitting on the golden goose that he was talking about, all right? And why would you change when you're making so much money? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
I'm making too much money. I'm not going to deviate from that until they figured out, hey, wait a second. This is a 15-pound golden goose. That guy's got a 35-pound golden goose that's going to feed 30 people. Are you kidding me?
That's what I meant. Maximize profits.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And that's
always somebody that comes
That's
along.
what had to happen. They had to realize, as good as we got it, and this dude's pulling in $660K a year, okay, as good as we got it, wait, there's more gold out there?
We can do better.
We can do better?
Yeah.
Okay, then all of a sudden it changed. Then this guy who every opportunity he had, he went as far multiple times as saying it's never going to happen in college. It goes against the very fabric of college athletics. And all of a sudden, he's the guy who's the face of the new playoff. That's when you take your hat, you throw it across the room.
There it goes.
Right? And you know what the worst part is? They win. They win.
The point of all this, Sean, like I say all this to say, it's not the players.
No.
The players are not the
Hell
problem.
no. It's
never
But
been the players.
magically, they've done a great job of framing it like it's and they're, they're players. Like they're not they're players. They happen to go to school too. So here's the deal is they have framed this that the players are the bad guys and girls because they want control over their image.
Yeah.
That they want to make a couple dollars off their image.
Right. See what happens when we let them do it. Like,
bingo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're the problem.
yep, the inmates running to prison, as somebody once said.
It's insane to me, man. It's absolutely insane. Mike G, Neal, you understand rivalries. Don't you hate Detroit Mercy with all your heart? I do. But Mike G, in a playoff scenario, which is what basketball is, if you gave me the deal, you will lose twice to Detroit Mercy, but you'll make the Sweet 16.
You'll take it every time.
Every time. I'd break your hand shaking your hand for that deal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, y'all little regular season dub.
Can I lose twice to them in the regular season, then knock them off in the conference tournament? Okay.
Even if that doesn't come along with it, if we go to the Sweet 16,
Guaranteed.
that's
yeah.
all I
Fine.
care
I'll
about.
take
That's
that.
all
Sounds good.
Oakland fans care about. We have one of the great coaches in college basketball history. We do at Oakland.
Shout out Campy.
Greg Campy is one of the great coaches in the history of college
Campy.
basketball.
Cool
Check
dude.
the record book. Yeah, cool dude, Woodward guy, all that stuff.
Keep it real all the time.
We developed to a point where even our fans in this, because I've seen it firsthand, where winning in the 2010s, we had the second best conference record in the state of Michigan. Better than Michigan, Central, Eastern. It was Michigan State and us right there. I mean, we were dominating in conference play.
Absolutely.
But when you lose in the conference tournament and you don't go to the NCAA tournament, then there's something wrong. There's a problem, right? That's Sean, to quote your thing about Cade Cunningham, I didn't make it this way. You didn't make it this way. But that's the way that it is. And when you boil this all down, and somebody in the chat said it earlier, something along the lines of, it does, Neal, it does mean less. The Michigan-Ohio State game means
You
less.
have to say that.
You don't have a choice.
How about like Mike G? I don't know how old you are. To people like Mike G, okay, how about the day and age, Neal, where you either beat Ohio State, you had a fantastic year, you lose to Ohio State, your season's over, you're not going to a bowl game. How about that? Those days are long gone. You know, I mean, a lot of times, yeah, it sucks we lost this game, but whatever. We're still going to this game. We're still going to that game. Thanks, JB. We're still going to this game. We're still going to that game. That sounds great, right? And I'm one of those people, you can call me a sicko. Neal, I think you're in the same club. I like rolling in on December 16th and watching the Birmingham, Alabama Bowl. I do
too.
And when I hear people say there's too many bowl games, I'm sorry.
Shout out R&L Carrier's New Orleans Bowl.
It sends a shiver down my spine. It's like, you don't like college football? Like, more college football is a bad thing? Like, yeah, I just think there's too many. I don't watch bowl games until December 31st. And it's like, so you're not a college football fan. Is that what you're saying? And I can't wait to dump mayo on myself. Go to the Duke's Mayo Bowl with my daughter. I mean, bukkake for everybody. I'm going to dump it all over me. I'm going to dump it all over me. And
Neal. Yeah.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to watch those games. I understand if you say it's not as important, and I'll agree with you. But the Michigan-Ohio State thing, it is important to you, Mike G. It is important to Mike H. down in Columbus, okay?
Right.
It doesn't mean as much anymore.
And how will it look?
That's a sad reality.
And how will it look in another 20-plus years?
Right.
And that's my point. The degradation of it all has begun.
Yeah.
Try to take away from a team that won a national
you
championship.
Can't
You
do
can't. Like, and Michigan, I'd get your back too. I literally would. Ohio State fans shooting shit at you and you win a national championship, pinch their little cheeks, man. But to Neal's point, forget about that's going to happen. That's already happened.
That's already happened, right?
It's already happened.
Yeah. But even more so now. Even more so. There will be no stakes. And guys, I'm telling you, the first time that they do this, and it's 24 teams, if the ratings on that game take a hit, the only move that they'll have to juice it back up is to move it earlier in the season.
That's what's funny, because I think last year was a prime example of why the game was so important. I don't care what anybody says. Anybody with half a brain in their head knew if Michigan had any chance to get into the playoff, they had to beat Ohio State, okay? And anybody. And I know a lot of you told me it was math and things like that, and Michigan's getting in. They were not getting in with their resume. They weren't. There was nothing there. There were better two-loss teams that could make a better case than Michigan could. Forget about a three-loss Michigan. There were better two-loss teams. So who are you going to take? You know, that the brand's only going to take you so far under those circumstances. So that's what I think made last year special, is you knew, okay, is there anything left in the bag? Can he find some kind of magic? Because Michigan has to win this game to get in. And we found out how that played out. But I am somebody from afar, Neal. I've said this, and I'm sure you're the same way. Are you kidding me? As a college football fan, I love Michigan and Ohio State. I don't have a horse in the race. I love Alabama, Auburn. I don't have a horse in the race. I'm a college football purist. I want to see those games. I want those games to mean something. I don't know how much they mean anymore to a non-fan. If you're an Ohio State
or a new fan,
great.
Yeah.
If you're a Michigan fan, great. It's always going to mean something. Don't tell me that beating Michigan isn't going to mean something. It's going to mean something until the day I die. But if you're talking about guys like Neal Ruhl and I, Neal, what are you doing this Saturday? Nothing. Let's come over. You got Michigan on, Michigan, Ohio State at noon, 3:30, Alabama, Auburn. As college football purists, it just doesn't mean as much.
That's it.
Sorry.
And that's my point, Sean. Yeah. And that's the reality. And, look, I'm getting a ton of these messages in here. Chuck Brewer, bragging rights will always be there for the two fan bases, Neal. But bigger picture, you're correct.
And that's what I've been saying the whole time to you. Like, in the grand scheme, you're absolutely right.
But
they still make money off of that game. They're still going to promote it as such. That's all I'm saying.
No, but you can tell me something is something when I know that it's not.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
But you're a different kind of fan. But to Sean's point, the newer fans, it's going to mean less and less as we go along. It is. Like, it is becoming that way.
It's funny how this has changed, though, because now I'm going to show my advanced age. There was a time where, you know, you've heard about the 10-year war, okay? Mm-hmm. This game didn't mean national championship. It meant who was going to the Rose Bowl, and sometimes who was going to a bowl game and who didn't.
Right.
You know? And I remember, Neal, when I was really little, it was Michigan and Ohio State, and then it was USC, UCLA. And more often than not, the winner of both those games would go play in the Rose Bowl. That's just the way it was.
Yeah.
And that's when going to the Rose Bowl was cool, okay? For the younger generation now, a guy like Joey, the Rose Bowl doesn't take on the magic connotations to him that it does to us. That was like the biggest. That was the goal.
It was the biggest.
That was the goal.
Was, yeah.
Let's go to the Rose Bowl.
The Rose Bowl still got the juice to me, right? To me, it's
but
still
you're the
does.
last
But
of
for
a
the
dying
younger
breed.
generation, what does the Rose Bowl mean to you, Joey? Right? Like nothing. What does it mean? He didn't grow up in that era.
Yeah. And to me, it's not the football game. It's it's the
it's the
sunset.
pageantry.
Yeah,
There's,
it's the sunset.
there's
behind
nothing.
it,
I will say this to the day I die. There is nothing like sitting in that stadium, and obviously I was at the Stanford game and watching the sun come down. And I looked at my kid and I said, "Take a picture of that right now." I said, "That has been my January 1st image for as long as I can remember."
Yeah.
That is just what you do on January.
The coolest
1st,
thing
right?
ever was one year Oregon was in there, and they had like the helmets with the visors and all that stuff, and they had a helmet sitting on the ground, and the cameraman had a shot of the sunset off the visor of the helmet.
Reflecting off the visor.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it went so.
It's one of the
it was
coolest
incredible.
walks. I know, Neal, I don't know if you and I have ever had this conversation. I know I told KG. One of the coolest, you are literally walking down a street. You're walking down a street. You're in a neighborhood. And am I going the right way? Just, keep walking. Don't worry about it. Dude, I'm in a neighborhood, okay? Trust me. Just keep walking. You're literally walking down your street, and then all of a sudden, there's the Rose Bowl. It's like so cool, though.
It's like college Lambeau Field.
Yeah, dude, it was so stinking cool. So those things that we've held near, Neal, I totally get what you're picking up. Those things that we've held near and dear to our heart, they aren't going to have the same kind of feeling. They aren't going to hit as much as they did for us growing up. The younger generations, the Joeys of the world, it's all about, okay, let's get in the playoff.
Yeah, like I was super young, but I think the game that it was really fun to watch is when Stanford had Christian McCaffrey and they blew out Iowa. And after that, it kind of was just like,
Wait a second.
it wasn't really much.
Right, Iowa got
didn't
blown
win the
out?
Rose Bowl?
What?
Huh?
Did they do anything offensively that day?
Not really.
No, it's
Not really.
That's weird.
Kirk Ferentz, huh?
Yeah, but just getting
Classic.
getting a lot of these messages where like it will always matter to me, but in the grand scheme of things, you're right. Well, in the grand scheme of things is how the
Yes.
world is determined.
Right, Neal, and that's why, and KG, I'm glad that we're on the same page in this regard. He's right for everybody other than Michigan and Ohio State fans.
Right.
Michigan and Ohio State
But
fans are still,
that makes you no different than anywhere else.
It's becoming that way.
it doesn't
Yes, it's
it doesn't
becoming that
hit
way.
the same.
I don't think it's there yet, but it's
It
becoming that
makes
way.
you no different than anywhere
As
else.
somebody who I'm deadly serious, I have no rooting interest in that game. I really don't.
I know you don't.
I don't.
Good.
I don't have any rooting interest in it. I'm not one of those guys that I just want Michigan to lose. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? I've said this. What will benefit my team most is what dictates my thoughts. Okay. If I need Michigan to beat Ohio State so my team wins the Big Ten or gets a higher seed, I'll come very close to say go color that rhymes with glue. I'm never going to say it. Well, I mean, if somebody wants to, LaBartney has a lot of money. I feel like he offers me a bunch of money.
Shout out LaBartney.
Yeah, I'll say it. I'll stick something up my butt too.
Oh,
but,
wait,
but
whoa,
listen,
Whoa.
at the end of the day, it's still Michigan, Ohio State. It just doesn't mean as much.